Hello again, Algebra 2 students. I have a few more questions from lesson 9.6, this time from the second part, part B. So we've got question number 5, which is another modeling question. A middle A tuning fork vibrates with a frequency F of 440 hertz, which is cycles per second. You strike a middle A tuning fork with a force that produces a maximum pressure of 5 pascals. Write a sine model that gives the pressure P as a function of the time t in seconds. Well, let's deal with this frequency here. If the frequency is 440, that means the period of the function is the reciprocal of that, which is 1 over 440. And we know that the period is equal to 2 pi over b, and we need to figure out what b is so that we can write our equation. And so we write 1 over 440 is equal to 2 pi over b. Cross multiply, you get b equals 880 pi. 880 pi. So we will have the sine of 880 pi t, right? But what goes in front of it? Why is this 5 here? The 5 is there because of the 5 pascals, right? That's our maximum value. And then we need to choose the correct graph. Okay, well, we want one that goes all the way up to 5 and down to -5. Okay, so it could be this one or this one. But we also, so we're going to cross out these two. It needs to have the correct period, right? If you do 1 divided by 440, I believe it's like 1.00227. And so you need one complete cycle by 0.00227, which looks like that. It's about one whole cycle. Whereas this does not have one whole cycle. It has half of a cycle by that point. So this one is out. And this is our answer. 5 sine of 880 pi times t. Okay. The next one was a little tricky. It says, describe the error in finding the vertical shift of a sinusoid with a maximum point at 3, -2, and a minimum point at 7, -8. And so you take them, they are suggesting that you take the maximum and minimum value and divide by 2. And that is correct. You add the two values together and divide by 2 in order to find the vertical shift. However, we are looking for the vertical shift, and they gave us, they're doing here the x values, right? We want the y values, the y coordinates. So the error is the y coordinates, not the x coordinates, should have been used. And so if we take those y coordinates, the -2 plus -8, that would be -10, and divide by 2, we would get -5. And so that is the correct answer, -5. And then we have another modeling question, right? Number 9. The Great Laxey Wheel, located on the Isle of Man, is the largest working water wheel in the world. The highest point of a bucket on the wheel is 70.5 feet above the viewing platform, and the lowest point is 2 feet below the viewing platform. The wheel makes a complete turn every 24 seconds. Write a model for the height, h, in feet of the bucket as a function of time, t, in seconds, given that the bucket is at its lowest point when t equals 0. Okay, so let's see. One of the first things that I did was I dealt with a period. The period is 24 seconds. I need to figure out what b is. So I do 24 is equal to 2 pi over b. Cross multiply. Get 24b equals 2 pi. Divide both sides by 24. Get b equals pi over 12. Pi over 12. And so there will be a pi over 12 in front of the t. Let's see. Then I also drew a picture, right? Here's my wheel. It goes up to 70.5. It goes down to 2 feet below the platform. So that's a -2. And I want to find the middle distance, right? The height halfway in between. And so I do 70.5 plus -2, and I divide by 2. I get 34.25. The 34.25, that's my vertical shift. The vertical shift. Now the amplitude. The amplitude can be found by taking 70.5, subtracting -2, and dividing by 2. And so you get 72.5 divided by 2, which is 36.25. Now I used a negative cosine function because it is at its lowest point when t is equal to 0, which is like an upside down cosine function. So our final answer here is -36.25 cosine of pi over 12t plus 34.25. All right, that is it for chapter 9.6. I hope you're all well. We'll see you next time.